So our first topic of the day is one that's being heavily debated right now in our film community, which is when it comes to modern action and superhero films, a lot of moviegoers have been talking about a return to practical effects and this diminishing of CGI. We're kind of done with CGI, it seems. What are your thoughts on this school of opinions? Matthew, you want to start for us?
I like it.
Okay, so
Because CGI seems like it gets out of dated a lot quicker than practical. So we realize that it's faker quicker.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Levi?
Yeah, I mean, I think more of I think it's good that people are starting to have this discussion of more of, like, there was this whole, like, the whole takeover of CG effects, and now I think it's kind of exciting that people are starting to kind of talk about this more, and I also like how people are also talking about the best way to blend both CG and practical effects, and using that, doing a good job at that to kind of help tell the story. I know kind of when I hear this debate, the first thing I thought of was that the remake of The Thing that came out 2000, I don't know.
Oh yeah, like
12 or 13,
yeah.
whatever.
Whatever.
And how doing some research on the remake of how they actually shot everything practically using practical effects for the most part, and then the studio wanted them to go back and do CG effects, which I saw the remake, and just thinking about how much, better that film might have been if they actually went and did more heavily on practical effects.
Yeah, and I saw that movie as well, and if it's interesting, if you go onto YouTube, you can find what the craftsman did for that movie. It looks incredible. And a lot of that effects work goes like there's 2 shots maybe of the practical in it.
Yeah.
And what they did is incredible. It looks like the original, The Thing.
Yeah.
In terms of how real it looks. And one thing that I notice a lot of is people like to go on either side. I like to go like all CGI, or I want to go all practical. And people like to look at practical effects through a completely rose-colored lens sometimes, where, oh, remember practical effects. I think we all forget sometimes how bad practical effects can look, but at the same time we forget how good they can look too.
Right.
Which is really important when we're deciding whether or not to do practical effects or CGI. With a movie like Serenity, you want a CGI spaceship.
Right.
With a movie like Alien, you want that real practical alien.
Yeah.
Which is why Alien Resurrection, Alien 3 looks so crappy, is because they started bringing in the CGI aliens, the xenomorphs. And I think that thing was 2011, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay,
I think
that sounds right.
Yeah. But yeah, and then like looking at the new Star Wars, they're seeming to bring back a practical and CG blending.
Sure.
Because in the trailer, what we see is a practical robot. It's like B-88. I think.
B-88. Yep.
He's practical. If you looked at Star Celebration, guys, that's actually a real robot that they rolled out on stage. And what that means for us is that we're going to get to see a blend of realism and really stunning computer-generated effects, because they're putting so much money into Star Wars right now that it's going to be good CGI.
Right.
And it's not going to be like, Alien Resurrection CGI. I would say I think some CGI does age pretty well. Jurassic Park has aged really well. I just watched that again. Lost World has aged pretty well. Looking at Star Wars, the CG in some aspects of the special editions, it actually does hold up okay. Other parts, like when they're on Tatooine, it's terrible. Otherwise, there's not much.
But that's what people like from Star Wars, is when it looks outdated.
I don't know. I just like yelling at the screen when I'm watching the special editions.
Yeah,
that might be just me.
How dare you? That's another topic.